This is In the Loop. I'm Cody LeGros, and it's Monday. And Mondays after Pride weekend are always an opportunity to power through. Okay, tonight, what led up to a fatal structural failure in Seaside, Florida? We're looking at the underlying issues, many of them left ignored until it was too late. Then, a new generation of TV dramas is bringing new thinking and new stories to the small screen. But first, here's what you need to know right now. Good news on the vaccine front. The effects of the COVID-19 shot could last longer than you and your ex did. A new study found both Pfizer and Moderna shots could protect you from coronavirus for years. The evidence also suggests that those booster shots we've been hearing about, they may not be necessary after all. As long as the virus and the variants chill out and don't evolve too much, this could be the case. And we don't want to leave out our Johnson & Johnson recipients, okay? The study did not include J&J, but scientists expect it to be less durable than the other two, so the jury's still out for those who thought they were one and done. In Canada, some experts who took Johnson & Johnson are now trying a dose of Pfizer or Moderna to bolster their protection to see what happens. Now, the FDA and CDC do not recommend this, but those partaking in the booster say it could protect those living in low vaccinated areas amid the rise of the Delta variant. And while AstraZeneca was never approved in the US, a University of Oxford study showed us that third time's a charm. A third dose of the vaccine is found to boost immune response should it be necessary amid growing variants. Places like India, Brazil, and Colombia are still seeing more than 30,000 new cases a day. Some employees with the Trump Organization could soon be facing criminal charges. In a last-ditch effort, lawyers for the company sat down with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office today to try and convince them not to go through with the charges. Prosecutors have been building the case for months, but the investigation began a couple years ago. It's unclear how this will impact former President Trump, and there hasn't been any indication that he or family members involved with the company will be charged. Today marked the 5th day of digging for survivors in the Surfside building collapse near Miami.
This is the largest ever deployment of task force resources in the history of the state of Florida that's not a hurricane.
And as rescuers search through the rubble, there are still more than 150 people unaccounted for.
There's certain areas that we have not gotten to, but we've been able to place cameras that seem to have large enough spaces, voids, that occupants may still be in there.
An investigation into the cause of the building collapse is underway. The exact cause may take some time to determine. The 13-story complex was built back in 1981. It was about to undergo extensive repairs for things like rusted steel and damaged concrete as a part of the recertification for the building. A concerning engineer report from 2018 has come to light, which pointed out several structural issues with the complex. Newsy's Lauren Magarino is down in Florida following the latest developments. You've looked into some of the building's history, right, Lauren?
Cody, with every day that passes, we're learning more and more about the building, most of it coming from people who used to live inside, sharing their stories about maintenance issues they may have had or issues that they may have seen. But this report that you mentioned is really the first time that we're seeing issues the building had listed on paper in plain black and white. And I can tell you, it raises alarms. A massive county-wide audit of every building older than 40 years is underway in Miami-Dade County. This, as questions grow about why critical repairs weren't made years ago before the catastrophic collapse of Champlain Towers South. A structural engineering consultant warned in 2018 of major structural damage, needing millions of dollars in repairs. Frank Morabito of Morabito Consultants noted failed waterproofing in the entrance drive and pool deck was the main issue of the building structure. The report said it was a major error during construction. The concrete slab too flat to let water run off and drain. It's a major problem for buildings along the shoreline. Add in rising sea levels and the fact that the building was sinking for at least 6 years, according to a study, the safety risks only worsen. The mayor of Surfside saying over the weekend he doesn't know if any repairs were made. Concrete is not waterproof. In fact, it's porous. When the salt water comes in contact with the steel, it starts to corrode it. The building's former maintenance manager now telling Miami TV station WFOR he remembers the invasive issue.
We would have a lot of salt water come in through the bottom of the foundation. The cars would float. That's how much water was in there that would be floating around in the parking lot.
William Espinosa said the building association bought 2 pumps to remove water, but they'd break. He believes the water must have seeped into the concrete. Experts who have watched this video of the collapse say it appears the lower level may have given way first. According to the 2018 report, The parking garage under the pool deck showed signs of stress and fatigue, with abundant cracking and spalling in the concrete columns, beams, and walls. Spalling is when steel expands and concrete falls out. Reinforcing bars were also exposed. Morabito was even convinced attempts to repair cracks were ineffective, saying there was evidence of poor workmanship from the previous contractor. Morabito said fixing these issues would be disruptive and costly. The estimate to fix the garage, entrance, and pool deck alone racking up to $3.8 million. The Associated Press reports owners were scheduled to make the first payment toward these and other costly but necessary repairs on July 1st, leading some condo owners to take out loans. The report pushed for repairs in a timely manner, but according to a statement from Morabito Consultants, the building association didn't get back to the firm until June of 2020. The statement also said at the time of the collapse, roof repairs were underway, but not concrete reconstruction. The roof was in satisfactory condition with minor cracks, according to the report, leaving experts and the rest of the world watching, puzzled, without answers. In Surfside, Florida, I'm Lauren Magarino for Newsy.
After the break, we're diving into Gen Z drama. And no, I'm not talking about the fights I get into on TikTok. We'll be right back. Now, let me tell you from my experience, being young and queer in rural America can be tough. It's easy to feel isolated in your experience until you are exposed to other people like you. And oftentimes, these experiences first happen in the media we consume. Those types of interactions can not only make someone feel seen and heard and comforted, it can also save a life. Newsy's Casey Mendoza shows us how Gen Z dramas are depicting life as it is, with no filter.
I asked the universe answered, and she was like, no more unrequited love for you, God bless.
Generation is one of HBO Max's newest additions to its slate of Gen Z teen dramas. The series centers the perspectives of mostly queer teens, exploring their sexuality, friendships, and relationships through the modern world of social media and social justice. Actress Lukita Maxwell plays Delilah, an activist teen involved in her high school's gay-straight alliance.
It was very apparent from the first script read in the pilot that it was going to be depicted in a very new kind of revolutionary way in terms of young queer POV, and I was just very excited to be a part of it.
Created by 19-year-old Zelda Barnes and her father, Generation is like the lighter, funnier sibling of HBO's Emmy Award-winning teen drama, Euphoria. Both find seriousness in stories of adolescence, but Generation is a little less gritty and a lot more grounded in its storytelling, aiming to represent the real experiences of LGBTQ teens today.
I sobbed when I watched 5 for the first time. I had never seen a scene where, you know, 2 young femmes are in a room like freaking out because they don't know what their sexualities are. One of them like doesn't really care what her sexuality is, and it completely resonated with my high school experience.
What do you think?
I think lesbians are exhausting.
Generation takes a snapshot of Gen Z, which is more racially and ethnically diverse than past generations, and according to a recent Gallup survey, one of the most LGBTQ inclusive. 1 in 6 Gen Z respondents said they are queer or transgender, and Gallup editor Jeffrey Jones told Newsy that this younger generation, aged 18 to 24, doesn't have the same stigma against being LGBT that past generations grew up with. Gen Z is also more likely to question binary gender and sexual orientation constructs.
It's the queers' turn now, baby.
Because of Gen Z's inherent inclusiveness, the storylines of LGBTQ characters on screen have moved past the typical coming out stories and moved towards more nuanced discussions about the challenges of living with conservative parents, building a group of supportive friends and allies, and defining queer relationships.
I'm just really inspired by the TV that's coming out right now.
Between Generation and Euphoria, as well as the skateboarding-focused Betty and soon-to-be-released Gossip Girl reboot, HBO Max is building a home for stories of queer teens.
I'm really excited to see more trans representation. I think that if we're, going to get a season 2, hopefully, that the writers were definitely thinking about that and wanting to explore that and have some more trans characters in high school, because that representation is so incredibly important.
Casey Mendoza, Newsy, Chicago.
When we return, we unpack the end of eviction moratoriums and what it means for many Americans already behind on rent. Sure, the pandemic has shown us the resiliency of the human spirit, but it's also revealed opportunities to rethink our social safety net. Should a, say, single mom who had to leave her job to take care of her kid who couldn't go to school, should she have to worry about being evicted? And if she is, how can she find relief? Newsy's KELLAN has the story.
I'm 3 months behind on my rent, and I don't have any way to pay them $2,000.
Simone Dennis is a single mom with a 4-year-old and a baby on the way. After COVID shut down schools in Kansas City, she had to leave her job in order to take care of her son and hasn't been able to pay rent since.
I've been very, very stressed out, worrying every month whether or not I'm going to get an eviction notice.
Dennis has been able to stay in her house thanks to the federal eviction moratorium. Originally set to expire June 30th, the Biden administration has extended it for another month, but said this time is the last time.
The White House says the final extension will give states time to distribute rental assistance and enact programs to stabilize housing for the more than 7 million Americans currently behind on rent.
The extension is a relief for Dennis, for now, but she still doesn't have a way to pay the rent, and federal rental assistance she's eligible for hasn't come. Landlords say those delays are a problem for them too. They say without emergency funds being dispersed, the extension is just kicking the can down the road.
We keep hearing about a tsunami of evictions, but we say there's a tsunami of rental assistance out there. And if the focus can be on getting that money that's out there into the hands of those that need it, we won't have to worry about an eviction crisis.
Stacey Johnson Cosby manages several affordable housing units in Kansas City. She's also the president of the KC Regional Housing Alliance. She says a handful of her tenants have fallen behind on rent during the pandemic. She's been working with them to get rental assistance, but the process has become more challenging in recent months. She says it can take 4 to 6 weeks to get money.
Our goal is never to evict. Evictions cost us money.
At a rally in Kansas City, activists argued rental assistance hasn't really been helping renters and proposed a People's Housing Trust Fund to redirect the money to affordable housing.
It's not really renters' assistance. What it is landlord's assistance. It doesn't really help the renters get out of any circumstances that they were put in through a pandemic. What it does is pay the landlord's money.
Dennis hasn't had a job or a paycheck since February. She's hopeful she'll get her rental assistance soon, but knows time is running out.
I won't have anywhere to go if I do end up getting evicted out of here. So it's a sense of relief to know that they extended it for another month. It's not a whole lot of relief because it's not a whole lot of time.
In Kansas City, KELLAN Howell, Newsy.
If you're like my parents, you have no problem selling my childhood home right now because low interest rates trump a life worth of memories. So as they and so many other homeowners look to make money in this hot market, here's Newsy's Catherine Beek on why it's still a good time to always be closing.
If you're looking to sell your house, now is a great time to do it.
It's a golden opportunity to cash out. The inventory here has been low, so it's been a seller's market for some time.
Edwin Maldonado is a real estate agent based in Kingston, New York. This sprawling suburb, about 2 hours away from New York City, has seen average home sale prices jump more than 35% year over year. That's the highest increase in the country, according to the National Association of Realtors.
We had no plans to sell our properties. We were in this for the long haul, but the nature of this industry is if you can, just like the stock market, you want to buy low and sell high. And it's really hard to turn it down when you could wait 10 years to make as much as you made, in one transaction.
Homes are being snatched up quickly in Kingston, especially by people wanting to leave the Big Apple for more space. Since the start of the pandemic, Mike Wood has sold 3 properties in the area.
One of them, I think went on the market around Labor Day, and there were offers, multiple offers in, 5 or 6 days.
Across the country, low interest rates and a large buyer pool have made competition intense. The typical home now spends just 15 days on the market.
As soon as a home is listed, it's snatched right off the market. So if you're going to look for a home, you might not see very many homes because they've already been sold.
There are several factors beyond the pandemic that are driving housing demand. Almost 5 million millennials are turning 30 this year, and many are looking to buy their own homes. And it's now easier to afford a house thanks to the current mortgage rates, which were driven to all-time lows in 2020.
I think at the very least, we would need mortgage rates to stay where they are in order to continue the pace of demand that we're seeing. But that being said, if mortgage rates were to increase and it puts a little bit of a cool on demand, that wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing.
In the meantime, Redfin data suggests inventory will continue to stay well below pre-pandemic levels. And over half of the homes that are listed will sell for above asking price. The national average home sale price is now sitting at more than $377,000, which is a new record.
You've got a lot of people scrambling to see properties, especially in the certain kind of sweet spot price ranges, maybe between $200,000 and $400,000, and they need to get in there quickly. They need to be aggressive with their offers.
Long term, there's going to be a lot of demand for homes, so I certainly hope that we're able to build enough to supply that demand.
For Newsy, I'm Catherine Beek.
Y'all, we always love hearing from you, and we do want to know what you think of the show. So now you have a whole commercial break to tweet at us using hashtag #NewsyInTheLoop. Let us know, and we'll be right back. Never be afraid to show off your true colors. It's a good message to share as we begin closing out Pride Month. And it's always a priority for me to be my authentic self, regardless of the room I'm in or the porch I'm sitting on. Here's Usher Qureshi in Chicago.
The day is so beautiful.
After a tough year, Jesse Campbell and partner Nicholas VAZQUEZ knew they wanted to do something special to celebrate Pride with their 17-month-old.
We just wanted to, start off right and a good foot, really instill in him, good morals and values and just be a good person. This is a good opportunity, right? And just to have memories and to have pictures.
Ideas were bursting inside Campbell's imagination.
I'm an interior designer, so I use AutoCAD all the time.
The interior designer sketched out what would become his exterior design concept.
It helps me in the design process to see what it's going to look like before I actually pull the trigger.
What he came up with turned into a simple yet powerful art display for their home and the neighborhood. A massive paintbrush dripping in the colors of the rainbow.
I loved it. I thought it looked great.
He wasn't the only one who loved it. The couple never expected their unique rainbow art installation to generate so much buzz.
And someone posted it on social media and it blew up. People started showing up in front of my house. Suddenly there's a line of people taking pictures and cars are all double parked.
The massive Pride display has undoubtedly gone viral. People visit from far and wide to take pictures and just soak in the bright colors that stretch from the walkway up the porch steps and onto the front facade.
This is amazing.
One couple even used the home as a backdrop for a wedding proposal.
It just became bigger and people, would stop me and say how it makes them feel and how wonderful it is.
I really realized that it meant something more was when I saw that it made people feel safe. So, that was really special to me.
But Campbell and VAZQUEZ wanted to turn their viral sensation into something more, a chance to give back. People passing by can scan a QR code printed on a placard outside the home and donate to the Trevor Project.
You just scan the code and it brings the website right up.
The nonprofit focuses on suicide prevention among LGBTQ youth.
We thought, what a great way to, give back to the community.
Thousands have already been raised, and for the proud couple, the impact of their family project has filled their hearts with love and gratitude.
It's moving that it has brought so much joy to so many people. Yeah.
And now it's inspired countless others to turn that joy into generosity. Reporting from Chicago, I'm Usher Qureshi.
As always, thank you for watching In the Loop. I'll be yours all week as Christian Bryant sips Mai Tais on a private beach somewhere. Until his return, I'm Cody LeGros. Top stories from Newsy are headed your way right now.